boards, I just like the simplicity of them. You know, you remove all the performance, nose riding, hitting the lip, and all those things, which I love to do. But it's nice to sort of take a break, step back, and just trim. Just go straight down the line. They tap into a really ancient thing in surfing, which is just the most basic feeling, which is when you're in trim. And when you're in trim on a surfboard, it's those moments in between where the board, everything is just perfectly in alignment, and you feel like you're going as fast as you can. It's like it's almost an undescribable feeling. You know, it's crazy that you could literally be doing nothing and be having more fun than if you were doing a giant turn or hanging 10. And just from talking to Skip a bit, he was inspired by a lot of ancient aspects of surfing that maybe have just sort of, you know, gone off to the side because performance took over. You know, he was inspired by a lot of what the Hawaiians were into, those giant Olo boards. My understanding of talking to Skip is he took inspiration from those, the really cool things about that feeling of the being entrenched, the simple glide aspect of it, and kind of just doing nothing. You know, it's like some of the best art that I can think of is extremely minimal. You know, a lot of things are stripped out of it, and I think this is just a really simple art form.
I'm Jen Smith. I grew up surfing Pacific Beach, San Diego, California. Today I was riding my dad's 10-1 Frye Swallowtail. It's a board that he's had for about 16 years, and I think I ride it more than he does. I always have to ask to use it because it's a very special board. But I love that thing. I just like the glide and the way that I can catch a wave from all the way the farthest out possible and ride it all the way through to the beach, flat, past all the flat spots, through all the reforms. And yeah, I like the speed and the glide of that board.
Hi, I'm Devon Howard. I grew up surfing La Jolla Shores and Windansea Beach, but I live in Cardiff now. My favorite big board, I have a few, is the one I rode today, which is 11.2 Skip Frye Eagle. It's a single fin. It's a medium weight, and I love the board for all the reasons I said earlier. It's an incredible challenge. It's a palate cleanser. It's the board that kind of reconnects me to surfing if I'm ever in a little bit of a funk. And what else do I need to say? What else?
You have a great mustache.
It's not a great mustache.
Yeah.
I've only been growing it for 2 weeks. Come back and visit me in a few more weeks and it'll be awesome.
We look forward to that.
All right. My name is Erin Ashley. I'm from Long Beach, California. I'm currently in Newport, or Costa Mesa, I should say. I learned to surf over at Seal Beach, and now I surf Blackies mostly, so it's a lot of beach breaks. Today I was riding a 10.6 Josh Hall Swallow, and I also rode a 11.3 Dead Kooks. You see people like Devin, and Josh has always been riding them. Jen's always harassing me about how she's going to take her like 12-footer out. It's great because it makes me rethink how I'm doing everything on a longboard, which is great because it makes me really adjust how I'm looking at a wave. So I'm not just trying to get a nose ride like right here. I have to see that there's this much more wave that exists, and maybe it's more important to pay attention to this than to get like, you know, a half a second on a nose and like waste the rest of the wave. So these boards I feel really make you like look at how you're surfing and how you're connecting waves and everything you're doing, especially your rail work, and how every little movement actually makes more of a difference than like the big movements. I think that's it. You can make it more clever in post, right?
That was killer.
That was great. Well done.
My name's Josh Hall. I'm from San Diego, California. I grew up surfing here in Pacific Beach between the pier and the point. Today I rode an 11-foot Fish Simmons, actually 10, 11 and 3/4. It's not quite 11 feet. The Fish Simmons for me is my favorite version of the big board. It's one of the most difficult boards to ride, but when you put everything together with the rail line and the fins, it's probably the fastest board in the water in all lengths. And today I have it set up as a tri-fin. There have been some quad fins built in the past, but above 8 feet, we're starting to just go back to tri-fins, and they're a lot of fun. Is that good?
Perfect. Nailed it.
It's just something about it, the history of it, and definitely the feeling, the way they glide through the water and make sections. And I actually think I've gotten tighter to a wave on a big board than I have a short board, because I think with a short board you outmaneuver yourself a lot, but with a big board you're just slotted and you go, and the momentum is, it carries you right on through. Well, you know what? It's because the modern day thing is maneuverability. We just went down to short boards, and it's so it's so all over the place that that's kind of what's ingrained. So, riding the big boards is just pure trim, pretty much. You do one turn or one cutback, but it's mostly just sizing it up and trimming, and it's just really trim, which is the essence of the sport. It's kind of it's becoming more lost all the time. Like the great trim masters of the past, they're all kind of fading away, and not too many guys in this era have
Experienced it.
Well, experienced it, or have maybe focused on that aspect of surfing. Because all it is kind of standing there. But there's a lot more to it than standing there, because you got to be in the right place in the wave, and real subtle movements going up and down. I mean, it's a lot more subtle in the way you operate than a lot of the modern day moves, or even for that matter, just standard shortboard moves,
This morning we were talking about it with Jen and Erin, and Devon was like, it slows you down and it makes you focus. Like the girls were comparing it to how, with their longboards, they're worried about right here, not what's like right there. And with the big board, it's kind of like playing pool. It's not this shot, it's the two ahead of you that you're planning for,
Oh, you go right through it. Meow. So nice. Well, it's so solid. I don't know, because it's heavier for one thing. I mean, we are making them lighter, but it's just got the way it sets in the water. Like the way a board sets in the water is really like they went with the Surf Tex and that type of board. Well, short boards might be all right, but the long ones never really quite right, because they didn't set right. They paddled good, but they're too light. They never really set in the water. Never really, I don't know. You couldn't feel the wave as good. Henson had made a couple of balsas in like '63 or '4, and we were well entrenched in the foam era at that time. But I remember the way they set in the water. I remember this one 10-foot one he had, and riding swamis, and the way it would carry through a turn. You just go down, whoa! It was just like, it was so smooth and so set. I mean, it's just like, it was like such a radical deal. It was just, the weight, the way it would carry, and the smoothness. It was just like, oh man, it was like unbelievable. But there it is, that feeling of weight and projection and momentum, and I remember Simmons, he was making boards as heavy as he could at one point. But maybe just because he had like a buzz one day. I mean, it's not the overall thing, because there's certain days, there again, it has to be clean, real clean. Everything has to be set up, If it's too bumpy, or, you get lost with too much weight. I don't know. That's why there's quivers, Certain boards fit certain seasons and certain types of waves, and it's kind of like a bag of golf clubs, You got to have a pitching wedge and a putter, and You gotta have a wood to get you. You know, wood would be the big board, and so it's kind of like that. You know, the ocean is so different, and each break is different, and the times of year are different. So you know, the ultra long isn't the end all answer. I mean, if somebody said I wanted to get stuck on one board, what would it be? Well, it'd be over 10 feet. But, you know, I don't know. That would be a hard one, to be stuck on one board. I don't know the rest of my life. But it would be at least 10 feet. Probably between 10 and 11 feet. I don't know. Hard to say.
Model?
Hard to get. What model?
What model?
Oh, I don't know. Well, maybe an eagle. You know, eagle. I don't know. I still haven't. I've got so many projects right now that I could stop shaping and say the surf broke every day really perfect. I couldn't test everything out that I've got waiting right now. I got fins and different shapes, and I mean, it's just like mind-boggling. Luckily, I have 4 or 5 people that are right around me that I can bounce off of, you know, that they can help me. You know, we're always kind of bouncing off each other. What's this like? What's that like? And so you got to have help. I mean, you can't do it by yourself. You know? I mean, you can. I mean, but it's only going to take you so far. We all need help in this life to get us through wherever we're going. So the more help we have, the better, the further we go, and the better it is. You know, simple as that. Josh is the extension of me. I'm kind of fading, and he's kind of coming into the full bloom. So he'll take over as I fade away, and he's going to carry it on. It's in good hands. That's all I can say. I'm glad. This was the first 11-foot persimmons that I made. Still twisted. Yeah. Sashimi. Thought maybe I'd want the bigger swings in there for a little more drive. Yeah. When I
Sorry. my God.
Drinking hot drinks. That's my element.
Chief.
Sitting around drinking a hot drink is my
Chief.
We're sending it
Overhead.
Phantom Power.
Set it right up. Okay. This one.
Not, we got over modulates it.
So, that was the 1st of March is when I shaped this of 1990. 14th is when I first wrote it, but I didn't get the buzz. 15th and 16th, I got the real buzz on it. The 21st was my dog's birthday. I had a dog. And I wrote him, I used to write him on this 10-footer right here. And I just thought, oh, writing him on the 11-footer would be so much easier. So I had my wife video. I said, come on, we're going to go up to PV Cove and film Leroy on his birthday. During that time, I had ordered a board. I ordered the first blank, and it came in that day. So we went up. The last wave my dog ever got, it was a high five. One of my friends pulled alongside him. I gave him a high five, and then steered it and right up into the channel at the point on the left. And that was the last my dog ever, last wave he ever caught. So the guy, when he passed away that summer, he gave me the board back. But I came back that afternoon and I shaped the equinox, because the equinox is the first day of spring. So that was the bottom one there. The solstice, which got me into this whole thing, I had, and the bottom one's got a flat bottom, nothing really too extravagant about it. The second one I put a V in, but I always wrote it with a 9-inch fin. It was kind of all right, I liked it, but I didn't like it a lot, so I sold it. And then about 2 years ago, Bird over at Bird Shed says, hey, do you know anything about a solstice? Because I shaped that on the first day of winter, the solstice. So I went, I don't know, there's only 2 of them. There's the second one I shaped and the very first, yeah. So I went over, and then it has these offsets. They're like double offsets, like a piece of basswood and a piece of redwood.
Yeah.
So I got it back. And then I put a 7.5 in it and wrote it the best it ever rode. Wow. That was 20 years later. Wow. Best it ever, it was just like, it was just flowing and smooth, and it was just effortless. It was no hernias on the turn or anything like that. So that was like the first board where I started going 7.5. That was like 3 or 4 years ago.
But it'd be cool. Skip, in my truck I have Grannon's fins on the new Fish Simmons.
Yeah.
You should check it out.
Yeah.
Take a look.
The Grennan fins are like, the Grennan fins, these 3 boards here are 50 years old. They're my first model at Gordon Smith.
I love that.
And the fins were kind of like the bottom board there.
Yeah.
And then Greeno and the
Cutaway.
Australians at that time in the mid-60s, Greeno wanted to make fins like fish fins and stuff, and had flex.
The
and stuff.
dolphin fin.
So I cut the fin out, and Gordon Smith kind of patented it. They call it the high performance fin. So that was like 50 years ago. The little fins we're using now, the tri-fins, are almost the exact same shape, but shrunk down to tri-fin. It's just far out. They're almost, those fins there are gross
The
now.
middle one, I think, is kind of the closest. You think?
I don't know. They're all gross. Those are way too much. At the time, they were like really good.
Some people would love that now, though.
No.
What would you say to those people?
If you want to go slow.